We're going to make another video today on the Type 99 rifle, and I'm kind of going to go over arsenal markings and how production changed. What I do is I take in guns. I do some light gunsmithing work, but I also clean and restore and more or less preserve guns for people. And today I'm going to run a few different guns I've been working on just out of interest to collectors, or maybe you have something like it. I have some sporting guns I'm going to run after this, but an individual I know has a large accumulation of guns left to him from his father, grandfather, uncles, because I guess he used to hunt in that. And one of them is this Type 99 rifle that his father brought home from the war. And it's a very interesting gun. It's not for sale or anything. When he gave it to me, it sat somewhere in the house and was covered with about a ½ inch of dust. And basically he asked me to clean it up for him. And while I was doing it, I kind of went over the arsenal markings and everything else, and I thought maybe it'd be nice to make a video, explain that to people, and give you a video on trying to identify the gun. This gun here, his father was an MP in occupation after the war in Japan. He was stationed there for a period of time. And that's probably where he got it. He didn't take this gun in combat. This gun, it's the first time I seen one. It was brand new in years. This gun's brand new. Still had the packing grease in it. I don't think it's ever been fired. And he also got a bayonet with a wooden scabbard, which is correct, and I'll go over all that. First, we'll take kind of a close look at the gun. And this gun's a little bit unusual because it's kind of like a transitional, as they transitioned during the war. Okay, first thing is, it has the complex sight on the back with the little wings, the anti-aircraft wings, that come down like that. So they kept that on there mid-war at least, till they started going with just a plain peep sight base. But this gun has a kind of late war mid-band. It has the sling on it, but it doesn't have that block. There's usually a machined block on the bottom where the monopod would go, which probably is just for speeding up the operation. You can see where they still kept the rear sight, but the first thing that went is that monopod. So that was probably one thing that was eliminated early on. This gun was made probably in the middle from the production schedule I got, or sheets there. It's made in the middle of the war. It's not towards the last production runs. That the video I do of the last ditch gun, that is the second from the last series, and I'll show you how to find your series on your rifle. And it has the fancy front guard with the little metal cap and that, the ears on the front sight. So it still has all the and the knurling on the safety and the metal butt plate. It still has all the most of the features before they started eliminating as the war went on. Now, to find out where your marks are, there we go. I'll show you. You have a serial number, which is here. Over here towards the left, right in there, these are the arsenal markings, which is 2 symbols or sometimes 1. And up in the front here, right there, is a series marking, which is a symbol or something for a number or series. And this particular gun, the arsenal marking is this here. It's 3 stacked cannonballs and a circle with a broken line in there. And it's the, I'm going to try to pronounce this, I ain't good at it. Toyo Kogyo Arsenal. I don't know, I'll write it down in the title. But that's the symbols there. You can get this information online. There's a website, that's what I did. I just printed this out and I keep it for reference real quick. And also it has the series or series mark, which is 32. I believe that's it. 30, here it is, 32. That little symbol there. The series marks are kind of hard to read. Some of them are stamped in real light and they're small. And, they're not that easy to see. That's why I kind of use a white paint marker to highlight this to help the guy out. And I also highlighted the Type 99 on there, which on the late war they stopped stamping that on there too, And basically this is a beautiful gun. The wood's in beautiful shape. And one thing they were asking me, if you can see, there's like varnish or lacquer on the metal part. And that's how they sealed the stock on these rifles. They sealed it up with a varnish or whatever, just basically kind of quick. The earlier pre-war guns were done a lot better, but you can see when I took this apart, you can see where they just splashed that stuff on and slapped this gun together to the point where they even got a little bit on the metal. But I left that on there because removing it would be not very good for the gun. And he also had a bayonet. And it's an interesting bayonet. I've seen a lot of Japanese bayonets, but I've never seen one with the wooden scabbard. And we didn't know whether this was like some post-war thing or not. But I went online, and it is. It's probably, as they ran out of steel, they probably substituted. And they probably made the wooden scabbards before they started substituting the steel for the gun. So, this is a wood, and it has, I don't know if you can see it, it has like little bands, 2 metal bands. They look like wire wrap. And it has a little tip on their cap, stamped out cap that's pinned on the end of this. And it's wood. You can see where this has been, it's cracked over the years from age and cracked up in here. There's a crack. And then it has the standard metal, the cap screwed in with the little steel slot for putting it in the frog, so this part's metal. So that's kind of like the part that was put on the end of the steel scabbards and put on there. And the blade itself is a blued blade, has just a straight cross guard, no quillion, which is most of the Japanese bayonets I've seen are like that. And Japanese bayonets will fit on all guns. Type 99s, Type 38s, they're kind of like universal. And it's still it's riveted wood panels with a bird head's pummel. As the war progressed, all of this got cruder, and the blocks and all the cross guards and that got real late war were bad. And it has a maker's mark here, which is an arrow with an M. Maker's marks are usually here, the arsenal or whatever. And this was made by the National Electric Company. And also this is a very, very fine example of a Type 99 bayonet. Mint condition, original bayonet. They do make repros nowadays, so it's kind of hard to tell because the Japanese stuff was never really made like the Germans with real high, super high quality. It was good quality, but it was basic stuff. And it's kind of easy to replicate or make repros of it. But that's basically how you check your maker's mark and your arsenal. And this gun is matching. Now I found that the only place the serial numbers of 407 are I'll bring that up too, how to check if they're matching. The Japanese only serial number, and what I found on was on the bolt. think there's 3 places. On the bolt, down in here, when you take this out on the cocking knob, on the end of the cocking knob, and the firing pin on the body somewhere was stamped 407. Those are the only 3 parts that were serial numbered. They didn't serial number every screw and piece and pin like the Germans. So basically, if you get those 3 bolt parts and add to the gun, it's a matching gun. And I've seen some for sale where people somehow pull a cocking knob off because it's easy just and lose these parts. So that's where you're going to get your mismatched parts on the main point, is that or the bolt. A lot of times when these guns were put in storage, they pull all the bolts out of them for safety reasons and throw them into a pile. And I guess when they went to reissue them or whatever, they probably closed them for the headspace gauge. And if the bolt fit in there and the headspace gauges went and onto the surplus market or wherever they'd end up going. But primo example, and I don't know how to put out a link to where, but you can go online and find, the web pages that have all that information about the arsenal markings, and it's pretty easy to find. And that's basically how you read the gun, or when you see matching or whatever, that's what everyone's talking about. Okay, and go on to the next one.